Hello, Jane. Thanks very much. A very good evening. Welcome to Wednesday's Look North. Coming up on the programme tonight, a charity caring for adults with learning disabilities says it's spending their savings just to survive rising costs.
Reserves are only there once. You only have one set of reserves that you can use.
We'll be discussing the rising cost of care with a leader in the sector. Also coming up tonight.
We're in the Peak District, where hectares of moorland have been destroyed in the latest wildfire. Here we speak to the fire service about the recent dry weather.
How's that? Keighley-born Harry Brook becomes England's new one-day and T20 cricket captain. And Made in Barnsley, the comedy cartoon computer game winning a top BAFTA for the best British game of the year.
And some places have seen some sunshine today. This was Thurleston first thing this morning, but it has been disappointingly cloudy for most of us. That sun, though, is on its way back tomorrow. Join me for the latest forecast.
Hello there, nice to see you. A charity which cares for adults with learning disabilities in North Yorkshire says it will have to use all of their savings in order to continue running services. Acorn Community Care in Norton helps 30 adults with learning disabilities through supported housing and daycare. It predicts that it needs to use more than £50,000 of reserves just to continue running this financial year. Now, the charity blames a rise in staffing costs. This month, of course, both national insurance contributions and the living wage have increased. And they're warning that without help, providers will go out of business. With tonight's top story, Olivia Richwald.
This charity says it's emptied its savings account.
Reserves are only there once. You only have one set of reserves that you can use. That's a real scary position to be in.
Acorn Residential Care near Malton needs the money to pay for the increase in employer national insurance contributions and an increase in the real living wage. That's a bit higher than the national minimum wage. But that will leave this not-for-profit charity with a problem next year unless it gets help.
It's really kind of worrying that there's forecast to be a £50,000 deficit just in us, this little charity here, and you kind of pick that up across the county. That's going to be absolutely eye-watering.
The charity cares for 30 adults with learning disabilities on a small farm. 10 of them live in supported housing provided by the charity, like Tom, who's almost blind.
They're always thinking of new things that they can do to improve life. He isn't just being babysat. Tom's not institutionalised. He has a life which he's driving for himself in a way, which is something I never envisaged. You love living here, do you, Tom?
I do, Mum. Would you like to go and see my house?
Acorn has helped to transform Simon's life. He had crippling mental health problems as well as learning disabilities.
My anxiety, I wouldn't have done that like this. My anxiety was like, I didn't like big groups. So it'll give me more confidence and my independence and encourage me to do things on my own, which is nice.
The charity employs 55 staff and uses volunteers. Most of its funding comes from North Yorkshire Council. This year it's getting no uplift in payments despite costs soaring because the council has frozen increases for providers which charge higher fees.
There is going to be casualties this year. There is going to be providers who fall. When you look at businesses up and down the country, they're able to raise their prices to offset against all these national insurance rises and things like that that are completely out of our control.
In February, staff from Acorn travelled to London to take part in a day of protests by care providers. North Yorkshire Council says care providers in the county charge some of the highest rates in the country, and it has to strike a balance between supporting providers and getting value for money. It says it has provided additional funds to help with national insurance contributions to all but those who charge the highest rates. Meanwhile, the government says it's working on ways to make social care provision more sustainable. Olivia Richwald, BBC Look North, near Malton.
Thanks, Olivia. Well, joining me now is Mike Padgham, chair of the Independent Care Group, which represents care providers in York and North Yorkshire. Mike, that's one charity story. I guess other people are telling you the same thing.
Yes, I have very sympathy with that charity, but it's affecting all providers locally and nationally, and it's a big problem. What we've said is, because it's not being funded correctly, then we're going to see some provider failure in the future, which helps nobody.
Now, the council say they are going to help some people, but help those who need the help most, and that might mean some charities receive less help or no help at all. Can you understand the council's point of view? Because they've only got limited resource, haven't they?
I'm not going to defend the council on everything. I would say they're in a difficult position. But what we're saying is that, yes, those providers that are getting less are going to get a bit more money, but those providers that are providing more care and more costs, they have to pay their staff more, and they deserve more as well in some cases, and getting 0%. That can't be right. And the agreement with the council was the providers on the contract would get an annual inflation award, and that hasn't happened.
What's the picture nationally? Are we doing enough to think about social care and indeed charities who help provide additional care in society?
Tom, we could spend all evening talking about this, but the issue is no. 3 decades, 3 governments, nothing's happened. Reform is long overdue, and we need to fund social care correctly. My view is we need a national care service, health and social care together. But we've talked about it so much, and staff in the independent sector, charities, deserve to be paid on a par with the NHS and local government, and they're always squeezed, and that's not fair. And I think if we're going forward with the government's bringing the fair pay agreement into place, then that has to be funded correctly. So the local authorities aren't getting enough funding, but they could be more efficient themselves, provide less services in-house, more external, to save money.
The government have said they are introducing more billions of pounds of funding and a first ever fair pay agreement for care professionals. Will that be enough to help charities through the next few years, or are we going to see a failure of a provider?
They put billions in, I admit that, but it won't touch the sides. The bulk of the extra money went into the health service. The health service deserves it, but social care is always a Cinderella service, gets what's left, and that isn't right. I agree with the fair pay agreement, but if we're going to have a fair pay agreement, we have to have a fair price for care, and I want to see national rates and the government stepping in. And we don't want to wait till 2028 for Baroness Casey to report. We need to do it today. I fear people go out of business, people won't get the care they need, and that's going to cost us all more as taxpayers.
Mike, thank you very much for your time on Look North. Doubtless we will talk again about this subject. Thank you. You're watching Wednesday's Look North. Still ahead on tonight's programme. The Yorkshire soldiers who are using brand new drone technology to help keep the peace in Kosovo. Now, Derbyshire Fire Service are asking people to be vigilant as the dry weather continues. We are only 9 days into April, but already this year there have been 330 wildfires in the UK compared to just 50 by this point last year. Now, the latest in our region is on Beeley Moor in the Peak District, where firefighters have now put out the blaze, but as you can see, the impact to the moorland, well, it's been absolutely devastating. Ollie Constable is the reporter on the ground with the latest.
You can see the damage that's been caused here at Beeley Moor. So much of this area now has been blackened and damaged by that fire which started yesterday afternoon. Visitors to Chatsworth House reported seeing smoke rising on the moorlands above them. You can see just what's happened to it. And it comes after that dry spell of weather has led to much of this area not having a significant amount of rainfall. And this is what the result has been. It was a controlled burn which very quickly became out of control. That dry vegetation, coupled with strong winds, meant that the fire moved incredibly quickly down the valley, as Mark King from Derbyshire Fire and Rescue explains.
The crews worked incredibly hard over the course of yesterday afternoon to make a fire break, contain it and then extinguish it, which they did very well, thankfully. We're experiencing the dry weather within the spring sort of fire season, which tends to start earlier each year due to the dry weather experienced in the winter, coupled with vegetation drying out and then the natural weather conditions.
What can people do to prevent these?
I think when visiting, which we completely promote from a well-being and health point of view, is be responsible. If you are visiting, bring a packed lunch, don't bring a barbecue. Don't leave any naked materials or burnt materials such as cigarettes left unguarded or discarded irresponsibly, and just be responsible for the land and the environment which you enjoy.
As Mark says, it's not just here which is at risk of wildfires because of that dry weather. The North Yorkshire Moors Railway says that it is suspending steam train services because of the risk of line-side fires with diesel locomotives operating instead. Here in the Peak District, Over 300 football pitches worth of moorland. Now going to take years to recover from this latest moorland blaze. Ollie Constable, BBC Look North at Beeley Moor in the Peak District.
Thanks, Ollie. Now a short update on two other stories coming into our newsroom this evening. A 14-year-old boy who helped overturn a police car during disorder in Hare Hills in Leeds last summer has been given a youth rehabilitation order. The teenager, who can't be named because of his age, threw pebbles at officers and posed in front of the overturned car during the violence which broke out in July. Hundreds of people gathered after 4 children were taken temporarily into care. The family of an 81-year-old man who died after being hit by a car near Rotherham say they're heartbroken and they're appealing for witnesses. Graham Slynn was cycling on the A57 near Toddick on Friday afternoon when he was struck by a blue VW Golf which left the scene. 2 men were arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving and failing to stop. They have been released on bail. Next tonight, we're with Yorkshire soldiers who are on active service in Kosovo. The Royal Lancers, who are based in Catterick, are a reconnaissance regiment, and the use of drones is on the increase. Our reporter Simon Ward has been to Kosovo to follow their work. They're part of the NATO force, which has been carrying out essential peacekeeping operations since the Kosovo-Serbia war.
A team of Royal Lancers is getting ready to fly their drone in the Kosovan countryside. Corporal James Lowe from Blidworth in Nottinghamshire is a drone pilot and trainer. Britain has been part of the NATO peacekeeping mission here since the end of the Kosovo-Serbia conflict in 1999. A generation on, and drone technology is now part of the modern-day army. We've travelled close to Serbia, which is just over the hills in the distance. Serbia does not recognise Kosovo as an independent country, which is why tensions have continued for more than a quarter of a century after the war. But the army and Serbia do notify each other in advance of flying drones to avoid any surprises.
Every opportunity to train is an opportunity to develop our warfighting capability. The Chief of the General Staff ordered the army to double its lethality and then triple it. Every opportunity we get to train on a new skill, be it drones, be it armour, working alongside our partner nations and in the alliance.
They're checking for any unusual activity on the administrative boundary line. There's only 44 soldiers who make up the British unit in Kosovo at the moment. That's less than 1% of the total of more than 4,600 NATO personnel. But the majority of the population in Kosovo are grateful for the British presence here.
We are still really appreciated here for it. Like we've gone places and they love seeing British and American soldiers. You've seen the streets that are like named after Tony Blair and stuff like that. You know, the impact, while it might not be visible at home, this is one of those places in the world you can come and you can see we did something good and it is having a lasting impact for the people here.
Ashley Rudd is serving alongside the Royal Lancers in Kosovo, but he's from the Household Cavalry.
Yeah, my parents are very, very proud. I try to speak to them when I can. Obviously it isn't every day like I'd like to, and my sister lives there as well, so I try and keep in contact with her, and I've got a girlfriend down in Leicestershire as well, so I try and stay, you know, speaking to friends and family as often as I can, and speaking to them about what I can when I'm allowed to.
As their 6-month tour here comes to a close, they're looking forward to spending time back in the UK while another British regiment takes over here. Simon Ward, BBC Look North, Kosovo.
Thank you, Simon. Let's get the cricket now, and Yorkshire has produced another England cricket captain. Batsman Harry Brook is following in the footsteps of the likes of Ray Illingworth and Michael Vaughan to lead the one-day team. He is the 5th man from Yorkshire to gain the honour and has been talking to the media today. So let's go live to where it all began for him. Paul Ogden is at the Burley and Wharfdale Cricket Club right now. Good evening, Oggie.
Good evening, Tom. Here it's just as freezing as right across Yorkshire at all the cricket grounds where practice is taking place. Yep, Burley and Wharfdale Cricket Club. There's the clubhouse. They've been here at Hodgson Park for 100 years and more, and this is where it all started for Harry Brook. His grandparents brought him here as a baby in arms 26 years ago, and this is where it all started with Brooke as a youngster, like the under-13s being coached in the background here. Loads going on here at Burley, in particular members of the women's section also being coached over there. They've got 3 women's teams here. Harry Brooke has spoken to us today as new England One Day captain. We've been finding about where he came from and the true cricket culture at clubs like this at Burley and Wharfdale with Beth Parsons.
At 26 years old, Keighley-born cricketer Harry Brooke says he was fairly chilled when he heard the news that he was to become the next white ball captain for England. It's far from the first time that Yorkshire has produced a top-class captain, footsteps that Brooke is ready to step into.
Playing with a smile on my face is the main thing for me. And just remember that, like, as a 10-year-old, you're doing what you wanted to do from growing up the whole way through. You're just living that dream that you always wanted, and to be playing cricket for your country on the greatest stage is the ultimate honour. So yeah, keep that relaxed environment and enjoy it.
Burley and Wharfdale Cricket Club was where it all begun for Brooke. His grandparents' home looked out over the pitch, and it's where he spent plenty of time during the summer holidays. The Brooke family name is a solid part of the club.
So this is my name, and then that's where Harry Brooke signed it.
Not only are some of the children proud owners of Brooke-signed bats, one of them even chose this particular club because of Harry's success.
So my dad heard him on the radio on Test Match Special, and we just thought that we were moving up here and it was just going to be quite a good club because I've met Harry Brooke before. So I just thought that it would be a good idea.
Everyone's just like wants to come play here because they know, like, if Harry Brooke's gone to, like, England captain, say, like, a random boy could just come here and then, like, eventually he could be England captain if he could just, like, the same pathway that Harry Brooke's had, really.
It's really inspiring to have them have a role model like Harry Brooke. No matter where you start, like with dedication and practice to something, it really shows them what is possible to achieve.
2 balls to me, please.
A lot of their friends play as well, which they enjoy. They're obviously inspired by having Harry Brooke from the village. Owen sees himself as the next England captain in the future.
What's your favourite part of it?
Probably the batting, just because it's so fun just to smash a ball. I smashed it like to 6s sometimes, but not always because it's really hard to smash it all the time.
With exciting times ahead and fresh lines on the pitch for the start of the season, it's fair to say Harry Brooke will continue to boost pride and potential here at his childhood ground. Beth Parsons, BBC Lit North, Burley and Wharfdale.
And here in the nets on the boundary edge at Burley and Wharfdale Cricket Club, bowling and batting coach going on, hard and soft ball available for those at different stages of their development. I just wonder whether there is another Harry Brooke in the making somewhere. The man who can tell us is Director of Cricket here at Burley and Wharfdale, Dave Cooper. When did you first coach Harry Brooke, Dave?
Probably when I was about 6 or 7 years of age, and we used to play on the outfield here and be hitting balls all over the place. And then when I got to 11 or 12, it came to the senior nets and just to develop with the adults, and started to show real promise then.
Cricket talent apart, could you also see a future captain, future leadership skills in him?
Yeah, that's a tricky question, that one, actually, because I spoke to him the other day and he said he'd never captained a team until he was 19 for the England under-19s. But there's certain qualities he does have of leadership and of empathy with people. That cricket's a game where sometimes you lose a bit of form, but you know he understands that and will support people to get over the rough patches.
I'll tell you what, here in Yorkshire generally, but particularly here at Burley and Wharfdale, I'm not sure they need inspiration from Harry Brooke and what he's achieved, because you've got such a thriving section here.
We certainly have, and so we start right at the very bottom with the youngest age groups. We have the All-Stars, and we've got 135 5 to 8-year-olds signed up. So if you come here on Tuesday night, this entire field is full of 135 boys and girls, and the parents and the grandparents and everything, and it's a really vibrant setting.
Whatever you're doing, Dave Cooper, congratulations. Keep up the good work. I'm back here at Burley and Wharfdale Cricket Club. Practice continues for the ladies. Let's set them a challenge, shall we, Tom? They've done Harry Brooke, produced him as England captain. What about a future England women's captain from those of you can see right now? Back to you.
What a great idea, Paul. Thank you very much indeed. Good luck to Harry and good luck to everyone at Burley and Wharfdale. Finally, a comedy cartoon game made by two friends from Yorkshire has won a top award at the BAFTA Game Awards last night. It's called Thank Goodness You're Here. It won the Best British Game. It's set in the fictional town of Barnsworth. Don't look too closely, it's nearly Barnsley, which is where the creators are from.
Hold on, what's all this about then?
Welcome to Barnsworth, the slightly off but sometimes bang-on version of Barnsley, designed by two lads who grew up there. James Carbott and Will Todd released Thank Goodness You're Here last August. Last night, it won a BAFTA for Best British Game.
You better get yourself in here now!
Well, the process is basically me and James sit in a room for 11 hours a day and just scream obscenities to each other. And then the magic happens.
Oh, hello there, young man.
Thank goodness, thank goodness.
Thank goodness you're here.
Yes, I'm so pleased to be here. I would describe the game as crazy, colourful and funny. I play Florence and Kerry, who are a couple of crazy sisters who work in the shop.
If you're looking for something to do.
I also play Marge from Marge's Chippy.
Are you here to give me a hand with the tatties?
It's so nice for a Northern game to be celebrated and for people to find it funny. And I think it just shows that people want games and entertainment from loads of different places and from, places that you don't hear from as often.
We really just focused on our own stuff and making the silly drawings, wave their arms and scream at each other.
Yeah. Will winning a BAFTA, is it going to change anything for you?
I think it might have won the respect of my parents finally. I don't know.
You will have your names and then after it will say BAFTA winner.
I'm going to demand that every time. And you're going to do that now, aren't you? It's happened, isn't it? We've done it, haven't it? Yeah. Oh my goodness, wow. Yeah. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Give your wife the best. Give her Big Ron's big pies.
That looks brilliant. I want to play that. That high-scoring report put together for us by our top gamer here at Look North, James Vincent. When he's not busy playing politics, he's busy playing on his PlayStation. Someone's slipping down the leaderboard, though. What happened today? I had to take my sunglasses off.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Right, OK. I mean, we did say there'd be a bit more cloud. I mean, there's been a lot more
Quite
cloud,
a chalkboard, wasn't there?
Yeah, but I found some places that have been sunny. We'll start with Threshfield. There we are, beautiful. Linton Falls near Grassington. There's not been a cloud in the sky. And the other end of the Pennines, the Peak District, one of Tom's favourites, look, Castleton. Absolutely.
Fantastic walk at Mam Tor there, isn't it? Look at that in the sunshine.
Absolutely stunning. And that blue sky is going to return to all of us through tomorrow. So it's just a little bit of a blip. If you are out and about tomorrow, don't forget, if you want to send the pictures in, there's some crackers on the BBC Weather Watcher website. So tomorrow, yes, it might start cloudy, but I think by lunchtime that cloud will have moved away. The afternoon looks cracking, sunny and warm as well. This high pressure just shifting location. It's cutting off that cold easterly we've had, introducing a westerly. So not just through tomorrow, but Friday and Saturday look beautiful. Temperatures could reach 22 degrees, which is way above average for early April. This system here, though, will break things down. Still some sunshine on Sunday, but showers, and next week looks a lot more unsettled. But you can see the extent of the cloud. This developed last night. It pushed across all of us, with the exception of some of the Pennines, those pictures I've just shown you. So that cloud will continue to move in through the course of the night, with the exception maybe the Yorkshire Dales around Grassington and Kilnsea. The Peak District as well might just have a touch of frost, but elsewhere there will be too much cloud around. So tomorrow's high water times in Scarborough 3:48, Bridlington at 4:15. So most of us off to a cloudy start, with the exception perhaps of the Yorkshire Dales already in sunshine. That sunshine really works quickly southeastwards. All parts by lunchtime should be clear, and the afternoon looks absolutely stunning tomorrow, and a big step up in temperatures. Somewhere in western North Yorkshire, 20 Celsius, and feeling a lot better along the coast as well. And just check this out for Friday and for Saturday. Temperatures peaking around 21 or 22 degrees, again with that westerly breeze. Sunday, some sunshine, a risk of showers, and unfortunately that week leading up to the Easter weekend does look a lot more unsettled. Tom, that's the forecast.
If I start cleaning my barbecue now, it'll be just done in time for it to start raining again.
Yes, indeed. Yes. So must get on with it.
Indeed. I'll get my children to get on with it more accurately. Right. That's kids, that's your homework. Thanks very much for your company. I shall be here with your turn down service at 10:30. From all your Wednesday evening team, bye-bye. Oh no.